And all new at 10, President Obama signing an executive order to restrict military equipment going to local law enforcement. Action 4's Ashley Custer learned that this federal program is not only important to several agencies in the Valley, the cuts could impact safety in our community.
President Obama signed an executive order to prohibit local law enforcement agencies to utilize federal funds to be able to acquire military equipment such as armored vehicles, bayonets, grenade launchers, weapons, and ammunition larger than .50 caliber. Several small police departments are able to utilize surplus military equipment through the federal 1033 program, allowing them to outfit officers without having to dip into a small budget.
There are agencies that aren't as well off as, let's say, as we are, or lucky as we are to have the things that they need. I think the impact there may be severe.
In fact, there are several agencies in the Rio Grande Valley that do benefit from the 1033 program, from departments like Panitas, who are issued weapons, to Mission, who was issued a $750,000 plus armored vehicle.
The program has been an asset for us here at the Mission Police Department. I know the program itself has been an asset for a lot of departments here in the Valley and throughout the state. So when we hear about these cuts that are, coming in the near future, obviously we're concerned.
The executive order states that the cuts are in response to events like Ferguson, where the public has voiced concerns about a militarized police force.
I believe in what he's saying. It's the truth. The police have gotten out of control, and I don't think a community should have like a military force. They resemble a military force instead of real policemen.
It's somewhat, I think, short-sighted to address one side of the equation. We're going to take these from officers, but yet do nothing about the proliferation of weapons, high-caliber weapons.
Especially when these weapons are in the wrong hands.
You take the incident in Waco here the last few days. 1,000 weapons have been found on the property. Those people would not have stopped.
Some say it's important to be equipped, especially with the type of crime seen here along the border.
The riots that you see in these cities that you mentioned don't exist in the Rio Grande Valley. Our fight is a different fight, a different battle. And, the fight that we're fighting down here is one with the cartels. And I think that's why it becomes important to have these pieces of equipment.
Dominguez says this armored vehicle is used as a last resort and only when necessary to pacify a very dangerous situation.
Within a month and a half of this vehicle being issued to the Mission Police Department, it was already put to use, saving the lives of several officers. If you take a look at this window here, you'll notice some of the damage sustained from several rounds of an AK-47.
Last July, capital murder suspect Joaquin Cibron barricaded himself in a La Jolla home and opened fire on multiple law enforcement agencies responding to the call. 2 officers were injured and others pinned down.
Our officers went into that volatile situation, and obviously this vehicle protected them from that array of gunfire.
Police estimated that between 200 to 500 shots were fired during the standoff. The armored vehicle was struck with at least 40 rounds.
Nowadays, police officers are faced with a lot more dangers. I mean, it seems like those thugs, or whatever you want to call them, they're armed to the gilt. I mean, you need that equipment, so you need to be prepared.
In the Rio Grande Valley, Ashley Custer, Action 4 News.
And the 1033 program also helped the Mission Police Department replace the windshield of that armored vehicle. Really quickly, just in, the open carry law has just passed. Both legislative chambers were hearing. We'll have more for you on that coming up tomorrow on Action 4 News this week. And again, you can openly carry your weapon in the state of Texas if you have a license for it. We'll have more on that.